Okay. Not too late. I'm a little late. I'm always late. I'm always late unless I'm early. Oh, it doesn't make sense, but it does. I'm kind of disappointed with this box of wax melts. They haven't really smelled.
You've been using them?
Yeah.
I could not tell either.
Like, they smell when I stick my face into them. It's not COVID. Where'd the fucking box go? There it is. Nope. Oh, those are paint plates. I had a box right here. I did have a box right here. Did I stick it in the drawer? It's entirely possible. Are you working on that model today?
No.
Okay. I just don't want to lose those snips. I have them. I've only been using one cube, so maybe that's why I can't smell it. Or maybe these ones are just an older batch. You know, they've only got a picture of a cube going in, but I can't remember how many I had been using. So it's Sunday. Happy Sunday. To everybody. I got up late, sorry, as usual. And my sinuses, sorry for blowing my nose, are flipping out. Okay, that should be good enough for now. Alrighty. So we're stabbing things today. Fluff, not people. We're stabbing fluff into images. This is where we have gotten so far on this project. Yeah, gotta put the finger doodles on. In an attempt to preserve our fingers. We really just need a whole glove of these. Alright. So when we last left off, we had put in our little cloud bank here to get ready for our trees that are coming in over here. So, sorry, it's extra all over the place because my mat's not sitting flat anymore. It's all like domed up. It happens, especially with how I'm using the mat, since we're not just making little critters. So our trees over here, since they're closer, are going to be the same color that we put in over here. So we'll get our bag of pre-fluffed fluff. Pre-prepped fluff. Excuse me. So this is actually acrylic yarn. and we're using, this color is from the Big Twist Value line. It's called Big Twist Value because they've got a couple different other types of Big Twist from Joann's. It's their in-house label. And that would be Joann Fabrics. Okay. To get our scissors out because we're probably going to need those, or our little snippy guys at the very least. Okay. So this guy's probably going to be a little bit... Oh, no. He'll be alright. Because we're going to have a couple of layers in here. I don't know why I keep insisting on being on the edge of the mat, but for some reason I do. So let's get to stabbing in our fluff here. I don't know what number gauge this needle is. It's just labeled small on the tube that it came in my particular tool set. If there was a number somewhere in the instruction book, I didn't see it. Though I'm not sure if it actually came with a full-on instruction book. It might have. Momo buddy, you have impeccable timing. Do I need to get him?
No, he just has to wait a minute.
Alright. Momo was all tucked in for a nap, and then he's like, hey, guess what? I want to pee. Alright, so down here doesn't matter quite so much because we're going to have a couple more layers of trees happening. We probably should have went with a slightly darker river shade because now the river and the cloud looks pretty similar. But, you know. Oh well now, but oh well now sort of situation. Alright, I just kind of thickened up that guy right in there, and that's alright. He was a little thin. He was a little see-through. Gonna carefully snip that. Try not to snip the project itself. I'm just making sure everybody's attached in there. Alright, and this guy. We'll plop down into here. I usually snip at the top. usually. But you can snip it at the top or the bottom. Whichever you're a bit more comfy with. Or, I mean, you don't necessarily have to snip it either. In this scenario, you could flip it down and work in the extra in that way too. If it'll fit with what you're doing. Won't always be able to get away with doing that, but sometimes you can. Okay. Let's not break that on the microphone again. We've learned that lesson a couple of times now. Okay. One of these days it might stick. I'm just so cramped in here. We've got the microphone sitting in the corner. Probably see part of them sticking out. I'm just grabbing a bit of our fluff. Just kind of rolling them into sort of a sneaky shape. This bit wanted to be its own bit. That's fine. So this side over here is not showing up as brightly gray as the other. Not entirely certain why. Probably have it a little bit thinner. Then the other side, which is why I'm not fighting the length too hard. Okay, so we'll get this put into here. And after we get this section kind of like this row of tree put in, I'm going to come back with our yellow ochre substitute for what we've been using in this one for that. And I'm going to throw some of that down in here on top of our green. To kind of get ready for the next layer of treeage. All right. We'll get you kind of worked into here. He wasn't really long enough to bother snipping the end off because we're not going to be super short on this side. I don't think. He might be a little short, but since I guess I've been making this side a little bit thinner, probably wouldn't hurt to double up there. So we still have plenty of this color hanging about. I just have to refluff some more. I'm gonna have to fill all of these bags from this project, except for maybe the yellow. Oh no, we'll top the yellow off when we're done with this one. Alright. My mouse keeps going to sleep here. And then I keep losing track of where it is. Okay. So we'll work on getting this guy in. Now, I probably have my trees a little bit closer together than Bob had his, and that's okay. We're just kind of following along. It's not an exact copy, number one. And it's going to be really hard to pull off an exact copy in this medium anyhow. And number two, we don't really want an exact copy. Not really. Alright, so we got this guy. So that's starting to fill in a little bit. Maybe that tree grew funny over there. I mean, if it's really too thin, you can come back in with some more fluff and fill that bad boy in, but I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna start taking these down a little bit smaller. So if you get like an unruly end where it's all kind of like wispy and stuff there, let me see, I'll show it off on the, see how the end's a little unruly? You can just grab the very end and then like flip it up and then roll it, and then you won't have all those little flyaway guys. Excuse me. Or at least it'll be a little bit more manageable. It'll be a little bit easier to tuck all those little guys in for the night into their new home. This guy I'll probably snip. Because he was a little bit thick to flip down. So in that case, I just want to make sure I'm tapping down all the little loose ends there. Gotta get all those guys into place. Oh, hey, I need to get that video from you. From yesterday.
Okay.
Where do I want to put you? I guess we'll put you about there, because there's going to be a little bit of shrinkage as we stab the fluff in. Alright, so it is Sunday. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It's not quite over yet. Hope everybody had a decent one. Whatever it was that you were up to. Oh, it's a Zorts. Hey, Zorts. How goes the things? The things and the stuffeds. So this guy's gonna live about here. The things go. How are you guys doing? We're okay. Rough night last night. So that's why I'm a little late today. Not terribly late, but a little disheveled. Because I woke up and I'm like, what time is it? And I was like, oh shit. But we're working on getting our feet under us for today. Got some video editing done last night. I'm almost done that speed felt. Almost. The lights at the end of the tunnel. I think I have about 2 hours, 2.5 hours left of video to edit on that. And then I can start laying in the music. I have to render the edited video first, and then I have to put it back into Adobe a second time and then throw the music in, because my computer gets pissed if I try to do it all at once on the larger files. And right now I've got oh wait, no, I might have 4 hours of video editing left. Damn. Yeah, I think I have a live stream plus 2 hours left. Shit. Alright, well, so that might be 4 hours left to edit. I can't remember what episode I'm in the middle of editing, to be perfectly honest. No, I've got to be getting closer to the end, because I'm on the one tree that was over here, so... No, I've got to be... It's got to be getting down to the 2 hour mark, because all we did was put in that other tree here.
Sorry.
Oh, I was like, who's knocking?
Please, no one uses that. Tempted to put it back outside, to be honest.
Nobody used it outside either.
Sure. Oh, stretch. Come on.
Everybody insisted on using the doorbell that didn't work, so... Like, yeah, there's a doorbell outside our door that looks like it was hardwired in. That looks like it was part of the house. Doesn't go to anything. There's no doorbell in this house. Nothing. We don't know what it goes to. It's just there. Unless it was there to prank people. I don't know. I'm like, okay. Sure. But, yeah, I've sort of become my mom's chef, kind of, and we were leaving dinner up to her own self, and, she was like, I'll just have toast. I'll just have a bowl of cereal. And I'm like, Mom, that's not dinner. I mean, yeah, you can have cereal for breakfast and stuff, but if that's all you're eating for the day, like, she wasn't having a hot meal, and I'm like, this is dumb. I'm gonna be cooking anyway. So then I just started sitting food in front of her, and she goes, what's this? And I'm like, just eat. So, because she wasn't eating enough. She was, like, eating, like, this tiny little thing, and she's like, that's enough. I said, no, it's not. I said, you're stumbling around the house. You're unsteady on your feet as it is. Eat. And she's giving me this nonsense about how she's gonna gain too much weight. I'm like, Mom, you're how old? Who cares? Eat.
It wasn't wired to anything. It's a battery-operated thing.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. With a non-standard size battery, no less.
Take the battery out and just put the cover back over the damn thing. Or put tape over it so nobody keeps trying to use it. Because there's no sound box in this house that it would go to, and I guess somebody took it with them.
No, I think it actually might play the sound here.
Then how the fuck are you supposed to hear it in the house?
No, maybe not.
I mean, I've seen versions of those where, like, the box it connects to goes inside.
Don't know.
That's stupid. Mama was like, Dad.
I did the thing, Dad. Now you do the thing, Dad.
Dad, I went out to pee, Dad. Treat me! Alright, so. I forget what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so I did some video editing last night. I didn't hop back in the beta for Diablo 4 because I want to keep playing. And I'm going to be disappointed when we lose beta access, because I think it's only early. I think it's just for this weekend. Like, I don't think it's full-on beta all the time, but then again, I also don't want to burn out on Diablo either. But I liked what I saw. What little I did see. I managed to do a dungeon on my own. On difficulty 2. Considering as a sorcerer, I don't stand still. Like, I don't stand back and I just let shit hit me in the face. But, Russell and I were trying to tool around together, but the server had other ideas and kept disconnecting me. And then I had to get back in line because I couldn't just reload from the character screen because it kept giving me an error. And I'm like, but I don't want to make a new character and start over. It took me a half hour to get to level 5 as it was. And I'm gonna have to do these quests all over again. So I had to, like, exit the game entirely to clear the error. And then get back in the line for Q to load in. Which was pretty heavy. Because let's face it, everybody's been waiting for it. I'm not complaining about the wait for the queue. It was just annoying that I kept getting disconnected, but it was a beta, first weekend of early access beta too, so everybody was like losing their minds, but it was great. Felt very Diablo-y. Russell's like, yeah, this feels very horror game. And the opening cutscene, little gory. Not like anything worse than any. I mean, tamer than, you know, most of your horror movies, but it had some blood in it, and, you know, some violence and all that. It's Diablo, it's gonna. But, I mean, the cutscene looked good. Even for early access beta, I mean, it looked great. And what we were seeing in game looked pretty polished in the area that we were in, so I was like, alright, I'm excited for June. I'm excited for June and able to just get in there and keep going. So it might be something that we're gonna stream together, or at least one of us stream. But play together, definitely. There's not many games that the two of us play together that we both like. Like, he likes the zombie things. He's playing 7 Days to Die right now. Our friend Tyler, one of his friends, I think, got a server started. Don't know how long that'll last, but he's been over there tooling around for something to do outside of Planet Zoo. I can't remember what he was working on outside of that. But I need to get the game file off of him from yesterday. So we can pop that up. Oh, I just should have. So I can pop that up on the YouTube channel. That's just a little guy, so we're just gonna tuck him into there. Oh, I'm excited for that. That was Friday night, so I mean that's kind of all we did was stream yesterday. And I made dinner, and then I had to do adulty things after dinner. Like take the recycling out that had been piling up in the kitchen. We're really bad about taking the recycling out. I've got a huge Rubbermaid container and then 2 cat litter tubs, like the big yellow buckets. We use those for all kinds of stuff. We repurpose them a lot for storage that we can stack, and recycling buckets and planting outside buckets, and we reuse those guys quite a bit. So I had to dump all the recycling that had piled up in the kitchen, take that outside, and then I had a good amount of dishes I had to catch up on. Because Friday night, by the time we got back from Sam's, well, we were on our way back from Sam's, and my mom's like, what time is it? Because we had to stop at Walmart, too, because we needed bread. And we needed, like, a couple other things that we either couldn't get at Sam's or were much cheaper to just get at Walmart. And not everything is a good deal at Sam's Club. You've got to know your prices. Gotta know them pricey poos. And we were getting back in the car. He goes, what time is it? And we're like, 5:30. I was like, yeah, so dinner's gonna be a little late. I'll start cooking as soon as I get home. Because we had planned on, I was supposed to make, I got a pack of chicken tenderloins, chicken tender thingies. The pre-cut fresh chicken tenders, you know. The non-breaded thingies, like the cut-down chicken breasts. And we got a big pack of those at Sam's, and I split them down to like 3 to 4 in a Ziploc bag and meal portion them out that way. If you're careful about how you portion out meat that you get from like your big stores, like your Costco and your Sam's Club, you can get a decent amount of food out of it. My mom was giving me all kinds of anxiety though, because we'd gotten, what the fuck were they? Sirloin tri-tips, I think. There's a pack of 4 of them or something. I think that's what they were called. And I'm like, okay, how do you want us to portion these out? I said, do you want Russell to cut these into strips because we can get quite a few meals out of that, or do you want to eat them as the steak itself? She goes, that's the steak itself. And I was like, okay, because I'm like, well, there's 4 in here. I said, do we need to cut them in half? Because, you know, by the time we add a side dish, then, you know, you don't do leftovers, and these guys are pretty thick. And she's like, no, I think if we cut them in half, because they were about maybe the size of, about this big, roughly like the size of my hand there. She's like, no, if we cut them in half, it might not be enough. And I'm like, okay, so that's like 2 meals, because you want me to have one too. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, do you want to get some beef cubes? Do you want to get more chicken? And do you want to get a pack of drumsticks? Those are $5 for a big pack. And I'm trying to like steer her towards the more budget stretchable items that we've gotten used to. And then she picks up this pack of T-bone steaks. There's only 2 in the pack, and I'm like looking at the price, and I'm like, oh my god. I was like, that's awfully expensive for like 1 meal. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay. It was her money, you know. It's not like it was my money. It's not like I was buying, but I was like, all right, I'll cook it. So alright, this one I'm gonna have to redo this spot because this got a little, I don't know what happened here. I got a little thin. But yeah, no, we had to do the adulty things, the chores. That was my extent of doing chores last night, though, was taking recycling out and dishes. Russell helped with the big recycling container because I was having trouble getting it through the one doorway. I got caught. And he was having a bad anxiety day yesterday. I'm surprised he worked his way through his section. He's like blowing through his section so fast. I am definitely gonna have to get some sessions recorded on that. But I also take more time decorating than he does, so. But he's also not as damn indecisive as I am either. It must be great to just, you know what you're doing the second you start doing it. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know, do I want to do this? And I don't know, if I do this, then is there this? And so, and then my brain gets distracted, and we all know how that goes. And I'm looking at my section that I've got like crammed in all together, and he's got like this huge thing in the middle. I'm like, well, no wonder you're doing these large ass exhibits, and I'm actually trying to cram some animals in there. Make use of every inch of space. Oh, damn, my voice. But, that's kind of funny. I really want macaroni and cheese tonight. But my mom wants rice. Damn it. Voice, if we could cooperate and get on the same page, that would be great. Oh, I hate that. Everything is blooming. Everything. The trees are all starting to flower, and then as the flowers are falling off, they're pooping out leaves, and I'm just like, it was 19 degrees last night, you guys. It was cold. And I'm looking at these flowering trees, I'm like, trees, what are you doing? You're a little early. You're a little early there, trees. Like, I don't know what you're doing. But I don't think you're supposed to be doing it yet. There's this place that's a couple of doors down from where we're at. They used to call it a mall. It's not a mall. It was like a glorified store. And it sat vacant and full of junk forever. And then there's a berry farm on the outer edge of town. I think it might still technically be in city limits, but maybe not. And they bought it. And they're using it as a selling location because it's like a you-pick berry farm. But they're selling like shrubs and stuff and trees and things there. Except we went by last night. They've got all these shrubs and all these trees lined up outside. No fence around the property. They're just sitting there. And I looked at Russell and I'm like, really? I was like, there's gotta be cameras up. Who puts that much product out and, you know, expensive shrubbery without any kind of anything on them? Like, anybody could just walk up and take it. Traffic is not that heavy throughout the night. Like, you time it right and there won't be a car going by for like a good 20 minutes sometimes at night. And I'm just like, anybody can park down the side street, walk up, grab a shrub, throw it in their car and leave. Like, there's gotta be cameras, right? You would think. It just, I'm like, what? Why? I mean, some of the tall trees, they've got some tall boys. Those would be a little difficult to walk away with. But, there's gotta be some kind of cameraage or something, or spotlights that snap on with movement or something. Because not everybody is honest in this world. And not everybody in this town is honest, because we found that out because people have been bitching about vandalism and vandalism at the skate park. And that's been going on for a while. I think since COVID, actually. Since COVID really took hold. And people are like, oh, my car got broken into. And then they're like, oh, well, I didn't lock my car doors. And I'm like, fuck. Lock your car doors. What? I never locked my car. You're stupid. Lock your car. I mean, I think half the people in this town didn't used to lock their doors. I'm like, y'all, there's more people moving in. And there might just be more people transiting?
Transitioning?
Moving through the area.
In transit?
I don't know.
Passing through?
Yeah, there you go. That, you know, they're not always up to good acts, and they're gonna be opportunistic. Lock your cars, lock your doors. Alright, so we're gonna grab some of this ground color that we used on the other side. And we're gonna start working some of that in. I don't know how we got this far out from our line here, but we'll try to fix that when it comes time to fixing it. Not sure how close to being done we are, so I might not be able to show the full thing on stream because I need to get the dowel rods and I haven't gotten money yet, so I don't know how much the dowel rods might be, but I probably need 2 just to make sure I've got enough, because I'm gonna need four lengths of this, so one could possibly be sufficient, but I'm probably gonna have to get 2 just to be on the safe side. And to make up for any fucking up on my end, so. Because let's face it, that's always a possibility. Yes, sirree. Okay, so let's get back to work on getting this guy worked in here. So I mean, you can see some of the like the yellow ochre poking through in spots over here, so doesn't have to be super thick, but I do want it in there to some degree. Okay, sorry, I just had a thought of what did I do with that other color that we were using last week? I don't remember seeing it, but I just saw where I shoved it, so we're all good. I still have it available. The our dirt color here. So we'll get this guy worked into here. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do a couple recorded sessions on that Planet Zoo Tundra thing, or Tundra section. Either that or I need to squeeze in an extra live stream somewhere. But I don't really know where I would squeeze it in. There was talk of taking my mom to the mall this week. If Russell's up to it. Just to, you know, get her out of the house and I don't know what day that's supposed to be, though. He doesn't have D&D on Tuesday, I don't think, like he thought he did. Oh no, they're supposed to be making somebody's character, that's right. So, I don't know what day. Maybe Wednesday? It's supposed to be nice out Wednesday, so she might want to go to the park. Maybe we can take the fluffernutters.
I'm sorry, take them where?
P-A-R-K?
Oh yeah, fair enough.
If she...
Sorry, last I heard you were talking about the mall.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be nice on Wednesday, so I don't know. I don't know what day she wanted to go to the mall. We have to find out what time they open. If she still wants to go. Because I don't know if you have to help someone make their D&D character on Tuesday, or if you guys were actually planning on trying to do anything Tuesday because the one guy can't make it. He's got something else going on, so I didn't know if you had to help the other person make their character or if Tyler was going to.
I was gonna be there, but I don't have to be.
I mean, that's up to you. I don't know what you all were gonna try to do. Didn't know if you're gonna try to do anything when the character making was done, if she even shows up for character making.
True.
She's been very day of, oh, can't make it, so I don't know. And nothing against her, because we think something else is going on in the background that she hasn't said. Fair enough. But I just don't know what you all are planning on doing. I didn't know if you and Tyler were going to do something after character creating was done before he had to jet back to class.
Probably not. There's not going to be that much time left.
The poor boy's trying to squeeze in nerd time in between two classes. And work. But I believe he and Russell have scheduled time together purposely for Wednesday nights. So that's sort of why I'm not doing anything on Tuesday or Wednesday. Because sometimes they'll do something Wednesday afternoon, and I also need a day to get caught up on stuff that didn't get done throughout the week, whether that's trying to catch up on video editing that I just kind of dicked about on throughout the week, or if I'm trying to work on something else, like getting some recording done on something. So we'll see. We'll see how those things work out this week. So we kind of have maybe possible tentative plans, but maybe not. Alright, so I'm okay with there being little breaks in between. This doesn't have to be a solid layer in here. So this is the mustard color from Big Twist Value, and it kind of has a yellowy ochre feel to it. Might be a little bright for yellow ochre. Might be maybe more of a cross between Indian yellow and yellow ochre, where it's a bit of a way muted down, more yellowy Indian yellow, but it's not a bad match. It's fairly decent for what we had accessible to us at the time. Just kind of want to get this worked in here. So some sections will end up being a little bit thicker than others, and that's okay. I mean, there's going to be trees coming back down and through here. It's going to be at least 1 to 2 more layers of treeage happening. I'm not sure what session number this is. This might be session number 11 on this one. We might end up doing 12. Like, it really depends on how long our sessions are, so I wanted to get started a little bit earlier today, but Body was like, nope, you're sleeping. So I'm like, okay. And then we need to stop by 4:30, 4:45, something like that, because I have to get dinner started for my mom, because she can't eat real late because she has acid reflux. Alright, now let's see here. Oh, I forgot to pull that forward again. What's up, Fishid? Alright, so whatever the weird particles were in the water may have settled. Or maybe the filter finally caught them. So we might not have to do that full exchange that we were talking about this week. I still want to try to wrap a paper towel around my little rubber spatula, silicone spatula that I got to scrape the glass. This glass is so thin, and it said it scratches really easy from the reviews on this little mini tank, that I don't want to take my actual algae scraper to it. And this thing's been kind of working, so maybe if I wrap a paper towel around it, we can try to get some more of the algae off the inside. But this filter we're seeing is actually sucking up some of the food that he's not eating, which the other one definitely wasn't. That other one was barely moving the water. I mean, I get it that it was quote-unquote low flow for a beta, but I'm still heartbroken over Harold. I don't know what happened to him. I never will. He's still this open loop in my brain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Momo found Harold before us, dear.
Well, no, I know somebody had to have eaten him because we never found the body. But did he jump out? Did the cat fish him out?
I'm pretty sure he jumped out. If the cat fished him out, Momo wouldn't have gotten it.
It was just so bizarre. I've never had that happen before, ever. And the fact that I slept through the whole thing is even more like, what? It's crazy. So now my sketchbook lives on top of it to prevent any mishaps. My sketchbook and my coconut turtle. My coconut turtle. I got him in Key West. He has little googly eyes. It's great.
Showing off your coconut turtle?
Yeah, he's a cocoa turtle. Coconut. He was living on top of my PC tower. Alrighty. I really like my glass snail too. I wish I had gotten a few more of those little guys. So we got this at an art gallery. Uh-oh, come back here. He's a little hand-blown glass snaily guy. It was $5. That's great. They had a whole table of them set up. Was it an art gallery or was it some kind of just weird ass store that had all kinds of... It might have just been a weird ass store because I think they had some furniture and stuff in it, just like a weird knick-knacky kind of oddity store. Okay, no, stick you back into here. We're gonna need a little bit more of our white. There's a shit ton of cat on our bed. All of the boys are sprawled across the bed. At least Momo's not, or at least his cow is not in Momo's bed. He's been doing that lately. Been taking up the whole middle of Momo's dog bed. I'm like, cat, get out. Momo's like scrunched in this tiny corner. And you can sleep anywhere. And Momo looks so sad. He's like, my cat's in my bed. Alright. Let's get another little bit of cloud in between, or fog, whatever we want to call it, mist. Worked into here. Then we'll do our next layer of tree. It's probably gonna look like snow in between them, but you know, whatever. So that's fine. Cal's gonna have to go hang out in the bedroom for a little while when I start to make dinner. Because old Grandma Cat's gonna start losing her shit when she smells dinner being cooked. Oh my goodness, she goes crazy for the people food. Wants the people food. You give her the tiniest little bit and then she can't handle it. So, or my mom says she gives her a tiny bit and gives her way too much. So my mom wants rice. I want macaroni and cheese, like really bad. I might just make half a cup of rice and split it between my mom and the dogs. And I might make macaroni and cheese for me. And if Russell wants some of it. I hate dirtying that many pots though. With a passion, I'm like, ugh. That's really what I want tonight. I want something different. I think tomorrow, I'm not used to having to like plan out meal prep. I would just, you know, figure it out when I woke up in the morning, but now that I'm cooking for somebody else, it's like, shit. I actually have to sit down and try to figure out what the fuck we're doing, at least for a couple of days. So tomorrow I think we're gonna do pizza. And then I think on Tuesday, we're gonna do hot roast. But I either need to make bread or we need to go buy bread. Like, I want, like, sandwiches. We might get a loaf of squishy bread, which is just the bakery bread from Walmart. I call it squishy bread. It's a little spongy. It feels squishy when you squeeze it. And it like bounces back a little bit, depending on how hard you squeeze it. I mean, I'm not saying crush it in your hands, but if you give that like gentle little squeeze, it kind of bounces back a little bit. They have the Italian and the French loaves that are pre-cut that I like to get, but they don't have their shelf life dates are not very long. So I couldn't get it when we had to run there last night. I was kind of hoping for like sandwich rolls, but they are expensive. It's either that or I try to make the sandwich rolls one more time. See what happens. But that's a Monday night project if I'm gonna do that. So that's a whole ass production. Gotta make the dough, and then the dough's gotta rise for like an hour and a half, something like that, and then you have to shape it into its little roll shapes, and then it has to rise for like another hour, 45 minutes, something like that. And then this one gets spritzed as it's baking, or right before it gets baked or something. I don't know. I made it one time and it came out really dry, but it reminded me of the hard Italian rolls that we would get from the pizzeria and the sub shops up in South Jersey. Kinda, not exactly, but close. And then the next time I made it, it like didn't rise right or something, and I don't know. It just I can't seem to nail this recipe down. Which is unfortunate. Alright, let me pop that guy up. Okay. Just wanna, some of those looked like they weren't fully attached, so. Alright. Let's pop back in with our gray here and work on the next row. Alright, am I gonna do more than 2 rows over here? I don't know. I think maybe 2 rows over here might be sufficient. So I'm gonna start on the short side, I think, today. I'm just gonna kind of take that up into our white, snowy, foggy, misty section. This guy's been a tough one for me. Don't know why he's been a tough one, but he has. Probably because it's hard to get the subtle shades that he's got going on. With the paint on this one. I mean, some of his, you know, the crisp ones, the crisp clear, to the point ones we can usually do without too much trouble. It's the ones where he starts getting kind of soft and fuzzy that are a little bit trickier. So we're gonna probably do another little bit of yellow at the bottom of this, maybe. Maybe a little bit more white for some ground mist, snow stuff. Kind of like how we did over here a little bit. And that will also help deal with any weirdness that we might have happening at the base of our trees. I heard a little. Sounded like she is announcing her arrival.
Hi.
I did hear a little. Now she's gonna walk over and bite Russell's hand, demanding attention. She doesn't usually leave a mark unless she's really wound up. I've had her leave indents on me. This is from her right here, and this is too. She was getting a little rambunctious. Those were from claws though, not teeth. The other night she was all full of attitude. She's just like, play with me. I'm like, I thought you wanted pets. And then she's like turning into a bloodthirsty vampire. Okay, so our white's not quite so distinguished on this side. Probably should have made it a little bit thicker, but I mean, I guess we could still go back and do that. Getting this guy tapped into here. See, sometimes it cuts great, and other times I have to saw through it. For some reason or another. Still haven't figured out the mastering of this pair of snips. Although I will say they are nice for trimming the fuzz. Like any extra flyaways and stuff. Around the edges of your figurines or shaping the figurines. They work pretty well for that. I used them to clean up the edges of the pins pretty good. Just trying to get that little bit of a tail tucked back into here. And we'll have a little bit of the background poking through in between those guys, but that's alright. Okay, I'm gonna pop this guy up and re-flatten him down there. So we'll definitely still be working on this one tomorrow, that's for sure. So we still have all of this to work on. Probably won't be done tomorrow. We'll probably need at least one more session, if not a half session. We still have to put our tree in, and because you know Bob, he can't leave it alone. It has to have a huge ash tree in the middle. So we have some ground to put into here. Just to give it something else to kind of push everything back further. So we'll get this guy into here. Now this piece was a little thin coming in, so I think I'm just gonna flip you over. Sorry, I thought I heard footsteps on the porch. I was like, what? Not the mother-in-law, because mother-in-law's not here. I think they're up in Missouri at the moment. Because there's some kind of something weird with the roof or the side that the sister has to get fixed on the RV because it's leaking or something. And the other sister's husband had somebody that could do that. So I'm not sure what's wrong. I don't know if it just needed like a fiberglass patch or what. Okay. Alright, next up. Stay. Alright, so I'm gonna flip this guy back up around in here. Can't wait to get back to work on my yellow piece. I just haven't had the time. So I want to get that other thing finished recording. I have no idea when my money is going to show up. Well, I hope it shows up soon. I hope they're not gonna refuse to pay it. Because that'll be a load of shit if they do. Fill in this section here. But we'll see. Like I said, I've got no idea how long it's going to take them to process it. But I want to get whatever I'm in the middle of actually editing done. Sooner than later. So we're hoping to replace this PC soon. And I don't know if I'm going to have to switch editing software off of what I'm currently using. I mean, I should still be able to record everything, I just won't be able to edit for a little bit. I don't know what we're replacing it with. Russell was looking at stuff. Oh, I don't know what we're going to be replacing this PC with. You were looking at stuff?
Yeah. No. We'll worry about that when the time comes.
I don't know if we're going to go with HP again.
No.
They kind of aren't in my good graces after buying a brand new PC and having it for a day before it started kicking up blue screen of death, and I'm like, what? And then having to send the computer back after being on the phone with their tech guys for an hour and a half. They're like, oh no, the motherboard's bad. And we're like, what? The motherboard's going bad. Are you sure? Yeah. Well, the thingy that you made the husband run was only registering one of the sticks of RAM. Are you sure it's not just the stick of RAM that's bad? That happens. No, it's the motherboard. Okay. Send the whole thing back with a note, handwritten in. Please check the stick of RAM. It's not registering. Please check both of them. There should be this much RAM. It's only showing this much. We put a mark on one of the sticks of RAM that was the bad one. Sent it to them. Get it back. Within 2 hours, I had a blue screen of death, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Husband ran the check again. Still not showing that stick of RAM. I'm like, the one that we had marked was still in the PC. I'm like, did y'all do anything? Or did my PC just go on vacation? Did you even look at it? Did you even do anything? Totally ignored the note, the comments that were put in there. The tech dude on the phone was like, nope. It's gonna be this. And I'm like, obviously it's not. We had to call you guys back again to get shipping labels again, because at least it was still under warranty. Ugh. That really made me mad. Never had a PC do that before. Might have been the first time I had an HP. I usually got Dell. It was the first time Russell had seen that happen with an HP too, so he's like, what the hell? Like, we reset everything to make sure nothing just came loose. Nope. They finally fixed the stick of RAM. came back. It was fine. Like, uh-huh. I don't think we're gonna custom build it. That's a little out of our price range, I think, in case something goes wrong. Yeah, I think we're only gonna do the 2 rows of tree over here. I don't think we really need to go for the full 3, although he doesn't have it quite that tightly packed on his either. And I'm actually working in some spaces. In between these guys. A little bit, nothing hugely dramatic. Got a lot of little loose ends there. I'm trying to just tap in. Let me pop this guy up. I know my trees are a little crooked. Not terribly so. But I kind of like this look where we're seeing some of this ground cover in between them just a little bit. Just a little. These trees just aren't that dense on this side, that's all. Okay. I'm curious to see if my elephant ears survived the winter outside. But we won't know that until it starts to warm up quite a bit. We have to clean out all the weeds and stuff from their growy buckets anyway. Well, one year they looked great. Last year they didn't really grow much, but we didn't really water them that much because there was a big drought in the area. Hopefully it won't be quite so dry this summer. Because where the buckets are situated, it's like right at the edge of our roof overhang. And so the buckets catch any of the rainwater coming off because we don't have gutters on this place. For some reason. House doesn't have gutters, but that's okay. The plant buckets will catch that and put that to use. Might as well, right? So we've got all kinds of flower planty boxes that need cleaning out. We have a lot of yard work to do out there. Especially in the backyard. We've got some herbs that we need to plant for the hermie crabs that Russell got, just to give them something else to play with and poke around at. And then I think I picked up dwarf pink petunias to put in the front flower box because they look like they're going to be short and shouldn't obstruct traffic view from people pulling out at the corner, which is one house over, and us and our neighbor getting out of our driveway. Although he's in a pickup truck, but it might not be that much of an issue for him. So we've got just a little bit more here. It's cold in here, right? So I've got this over the sweater on. Just it's just a pull-on sweater. It doesn't button or zip or anything. And the sleeves are big and poofy and comfy. They're not restrictive. They're not tight. The only problem is when I'm doing this, they bounce all around. And then I'm hot 1 minute, and then I push my sleeves up, and then I'm freezing the next. It was super cold in our room last night. I have no idea what the temperature is today. It's supposed to start steadily getting warmer, but I think our low tonight is still supposed to be in the 20s. I'm over this winter bullshit. I'm done. I've had enough. All done, no more. I have reached my cold weather quota. Because it's not even helping with my allergies. Because everything is confused, so it's starting to bloom when we have a couple of decent spring-like days, and then the weather's like, haha, just kidding, and then it's like freezing everything, and then everything tries to go dormant real quick again. And then it gets warm again. Everything's like, oh, okay, this is it. Now we're going to start to bloom. And they're like, bloom! And they're shooting their pollen and everything everywhere. I know, because the cars are covered in a nasty film. And then the weather's like, ha, did you again, psych. Like, you've got it. You gotta stop. You gotta stop with this. Alright, okay, so we'll do a little bit of ground mist here. Don't need a whole lot. Over here on this side. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to end up evening up this side as best as we can. When it comes time to trimming our edges. It's just one of these things that seems to happen no matter what I do. Not really sure if I made a foam board template, like a foam board frame, and worked inside of that frame, if that would really help. Probably not. It's just the way the fiber seems to be. Oh, pretty. So we'll get this worked into there. Get a little bit more wispy stuff here. And we'll kind of try to work this in around in here. Then we'll grab our dirt bank color and we'll work that in. It's like I don't really want this super thick. I still want a little bit of that color underneath, trying to poke through just a little bit. So it might take a little bit of time, not a huge amount, but you know, a little bit, just to make sure that you're attached everywhere, because sometimes these little thin guys can be a little bit troublesome. Okay. So I'm just gonna re-flatten that down. I mean, you can see the widening out in here a little bit better on the back. I'm still not entirely sure why it did that. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that it's quite so exaggerated because we were going up and down in places. I don't know. Okay. So let me, is this what we were using? No. I mean, we were using this color, but that's not what I'm looking for. This guy. This guy's who we're looking for. So we're switching back over to the roving. No idea what color this is. It's like a reddish brown. Is that like a sienna type color, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. And we'll see about getting this popped into here. Get some shoreline worked in. Doesn't have to be very thick, like very wide. It can be thin, it could just be a suggestion. We're not doing a whole beach on this spot. No, I prefer to twist it just a little bit, just because it makes it a little bit easier to grab all the little guys that are kind of going every which way off of the strand and get it more into the size that we're looking for. It just kind of makes everybody a little bit easier to handle. So this guy's just got just the teeniest bit left on him, so I'm just gonna kind of fold him back over. And just work him into there like so. Now we are going to have another section of land in here that's going to cover this back piece a little bit. A little bit. So, just let's smooth that down. Alright. But I do want to try to put in a little bit of a water line. It's kind of there on this one. You can't really see it all that well because of the white and the river color being pretty close to one another. Like, we're going to have dirt or rock or whatever for the next piece kind of coming in along and through here. So I know we have this section here that we didn't get any river color into, and that's okay. Because that will be taken care of shortly. Work on trying to put in couple of water lines that are just gonna kind of vanish into the background. It would seem, well, the camera kind of sees them. Camera's seeing them better than I am, ironically. Okay. And I don't think we ever did the back section. So we don't need to go too crazy with these. No, that one's not showing up so much, but okay, so put you into there. That one I can see a little bit better. And then this guy, kind of tuck into here. Well, maybe I did put one in the very back and I just can't see it. Now that I'm looking at it from here, I'm not certain. Well, it's getting another one in case we didn't. But we might have, and I don't remember. We've been working on this guy for a couple of weeks now. Okay, getting that into there. Well, there's definitely one there now. We might have actually already did that. And I think we'll go ahead and we'll stick one into here. Okay, so can't really see them that well on the front, and that's okay. That's all right. You can kind of see them. I get the camera's kind of picking up these little lighter spots in here. All right, let's see, it's 4 o'clock now, so I think we'll pause there today. Tomorrow, the plan is we're gonna grab our chocolate brown, I think it is, and we're gonna start to, it's kind of our closest equivalent to Van Dyke brown that we've got, and we'll start to work in our last section of felt that needs to be filled in with color. So we'll get that base color worked in, and maybe we'll start to highlight it, and we'll see what we have time for tomorrow. But tomorrow's main goal is to just try to get that chocolate color worked into here. And so we're making progress, slow progress on this guy, but we are making progress, and I'm not in a huge rush to get him done. So we'll work on doing that. And we'll go from there. And we'll see what happens with all of that. So I thank you guys for stopping in and hanging out with me this afternoon. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon. I don't think anybody I know is doing anything right now. No, nobody that I'm really crazy about taking you guys to go see. So I think we'll just kind of pause there, and we'll pick up where we've left off tomorrow. So you guys have a great evening. I hope your Monday starts out okay, at least as gently as a Monday can possibly be. And hopefully tomorrow we'll have some better news about the whole bank situation. And yeah, so you guys have a great night.